Welcome to another edition of Chief Sales Executive Television. I'm Rick Longnecker, your host. Today our topic is, why do people struggle with building, engaging, and benefiting from their personal network of contacts? Let's begin by defining metrics that will help us understand if we're struggling with personal networking. As you can see by the list of metrics on the screen, if you're struggling with one or more of these metrics, it's a safe bet that personal networking is not generating enough leads and referrals for you. Over the past 20 years, we found a common set of reasons why professionals and salespeople struggle with personal networking. From accountants through investors, engineers, salespeople, bankers, lawyers, they all seem to struggle with a common set of challenges. So let's take a look. First, we found that professionals that are reluctant to engage personal networking because they don't want to persuade or convince people that they're worthy to talk to or do business with, they're going to struggle with personal networking. If they perceive that personal networking is going to waste personal time, they're not going to engage. If they feel awkward or phony talking to strangers, or they worry or feel anxious about what people think about them, or they don't want to talk or brag about themselves, if they perceive that networking is about these things, they're going to be reluctant to engage networking, and they're not going to generate a volume of referrals and leads. Number two, we found that there's a limited understanding about the fundamentals of personal networking. People confuse networking with selling. At the end of the day, personal networking is about engaging people in the natural course of your day. Literally while you walk down the street or commute to work or flying an airplane. It's a natural engagement of human beings. It's about paying attention to what people say, the little things, listening to the little indicators that people give to us, and treasuring and valuing every person and selflessly serving others. Those are the fundamentals. We find that people that struggle with networking don't understand these four fundamentals. Number three, we find that people don't understand that there are multiple types of personal networks to build. Marketplace networks, prospect networks, referral networks, client networks, employer networks. Networking is not just used to generate leads and referrals. It's used to generate insight, advice, information, competitive intelligence, and to elicit better ideas for better solutions for customers. Number four, we find that people struggle with figuring out where to meet people that can add value to them. They don't know really how to determine who to network with, where to find those people, how to get those people to make and spend time with them, and how to create situations to get people to come to them rather than going to them. Number five, we find that people struggle with what to say when engaging personal networking. They don't know how to gain access. They're uncomfortable with getting advice. They're not sure in what to say to generate a lead or referral, or how to approach someone in a network about selling to them. Number six, we find that there's a lack of knowledge, if you will, around how to continuously engage people to sustain your personal network over time after you've met people. How do we connect with people? How do we invite them to events and get them to invite us to events? How do we use reminders to stay in front of them, or news items, and simply say hello and check in from a genuine perspective to see how people are doing? People that struggle with networking struggle with these items. Number seven, we find that people don't know how to extract benefits and value. They don't understand the basic fundamental process of motivating people to bring opportunities to them, to bring in the leads, the referrals, the advice, the information, the competitive intel. They struggle with requesting advice and opportunities. They struggle with sending messages to engage and motivate people. They just don't really know what to say and how to create the content messages. Number eight, we find that people struggle to use social media. They don't really understand the concept and the simplicity of social media from the standpoint of tracking promotions and job changes and communicating messages to people and soliciting feedback and surveying people and requesting connections to people that other people in our network are connected to, and using social media to build and reinforce our brand image, which in turn helps us network with targeted people. People just don't understand how to get at that from a networking perspective. Number 9, and this is a big one with our professionals, lawyers, doctors, engineers, accountants, investors, finance people, analytic people by nature, like to measure things. But when it comes to networking, they've never really been taught how to measure and analyze personal networking activities so they can monetize the time spent to the investment return. It's pretty simple. When someone shows you how to measure personal networking, it's a pretty simple process. Relationship depth, volume of referrals, volume of advice meetings, revenue generated from those meetings, follow-up activities. There's a group of activities and results that can easily be measured to quantify and monetize networking. Number 10, we also find that people don't really understand how to use technology to automate follow-up with contacts in their network. Technology exists today that allows us to enter a person into a database and literally not touch that database literally for years, yet meaningful follow-up goes on a day-by-day basis through a combination of email and phone calls and appointment schedules and things of that nature, including sales opportunity management. Now, what's our conclusion then after 20 years? Well, we found consistently technical professionals and many salespeople require training to overcome their natural reluctance to engage personal networking and make it a part of their daily routine to generate referrals, leads, competitive intelligence, advice, and information. Chief Sales Executive Advisors solves this problem. We train professionals how to use personal connection points rather than traditional persuasion-based sales techniques to build, engage, and benefit from their personal network of contacts. These connection points, this training program, and the connection points contained within that program are called the Threads of Connectivity. This Threads of Connectivity program can be delivered in any environment, can be conducted as frequently as you desire, can use one or multiple instructional methods to help professionals understand, engage, and apply the techniques. And it can be augmented with individual or group coaching to reinforce and enhance networking skills and the application thereof. To learn more about how the Threads of Connectivity can bring precision to the way that your professionals network for referrals and leads, simply go to chiefsalesexecutive.com.